Hey, this is John, and you're watching Dragons and Flagons. Today, we are going to look at something a little different today. It's called the Paperclip the RPG. It is a game that was created as joke content originally. I commented on it when I saw it, the short that came through. I commented using my other account, the not the Dragons and Flagons one. It's just my normal browsing account. But I saw it. It looked interesting. I made a comment. You can see all of this content over on GameMasters Channel, the Paperclip, the role-playing game. I highly recommend. Check it out. Look at all of the content here. It's something great. You should subscribe. It's not the point of this video. We are going to be reviewing Paperclip the RPG, an original game. Um, it's pretty deep, pretty thick rules. It may take many videos to get through this. Not really, but yeah, here we are. The base objective of Paperclip the RPG is to escape an office environment. However, you can determine the objective or have multiple at the start of play. For example, you might choose to sabotage the paper shredder or spill coffee on a human's desk, which actually sounds like a pretty cool idea. You could poke a hole. Uses exactly 3 dice, a d4, a d8, and d12. 3 stats, strength, agility, and reasoning. The reason I'm going through all of this with you, you could go watch the other videos or read it yourself. You can download it for free. Is that I'm not exactly sure how to play this, and I'm going to learn really how to play this together with you. And then actually at the end of this, maybe we'll even play a little solo adventure. You can have up to 3 classes: a warrior, a sneak, or a mystic. Basically a fighter, a magic user, or a rogue of some sort. Paperclip the RPG uses paperclips as characters and actual office supplies as obstacles. You can start off with 5 pool points if you actually play in an office. I guess technically I'm in my office right now. And Paperclip the RPG does not use hit points. You either achieve the objective or you don't. Warrior's main stat is strength. Sneak's main stat is agility, and a mystic's main stat would be reasoning. You can roll a d4 to determine stats and randomness. You roll a d12 to determine the difficulty of a mundane challenge. Otherwise, the game master determines the challenge difficulty. And you roll a d8 and add your stat bonus to the results to determine if you pass or fail the challenge. Sounds pretty simple. GM decides which stat would be applied to the challenge at hand. The player can bank a pool of points to help with a specific challenge. There's no limit to the pool of points, and you can collect and bank up for future use. As for the rest of the game, role-playing aspects, it's all up to the game master to decide. Not really seeing much about pool points or what they're used for or anything along those lines. Maybe I'm missing it, but the only way to learn is to really just jump right in. Game Masters have provided a character sheet. Pretty amazing. My PDF editor that I have, maybe I'm just cheap, can't edit anything, so I've actually created a lucid chart. So I put my name in here. We're going to need a name for our character today, so I'm going to go with Benderton. Bending. What class do we want today? You know what? I think for my first run through, I'm going to go with the sneak. So let's sneak. All right, so let's figure out what our strength, agility, and reasoning is. And maybe we'll actually change our class. Maybe I'll go old school OSR style, and just roll down the line. Let's see, D4 is stats. So I have an owlbear over here. Here's my owlbear. I've already loaded our map in. You can see the whole map in there. I've put it all in there. So let's pull out our dice. I gotta remember, I don't use this one very often. Oh, here we are. Here's our dice tray. And let's roll a d4. Hey, we got a 4 right out of the gate. Congratulations to me. Maybe, maybe we're gonna have to be a fighting person. Let's roll that again. Oh, it's on the line there, but all right. One is a one. Maybe we're not a sneaky person. And let's find out what our reasoning is. 3. Bad. Pool points. I believe it said I get 5 out of the gate. Let's see. 3 stats. Dun. You can start off with 5 pool points if you play in an office. So I'll give myself 5 because, again, I'm in an office. There we are. I don't have any abilities or equipment at this moment, so I'm just gonna leave it there. Maybe we'll expand on this. I definitely think we need to get into some hex crawl rules every 6 feet. Could be a day or something along those lines, or maybe you can move up to 18 feet, so 3 hexes. I don't know. Maybe we can come up with something. It could be fun there. All right, so let's get into our adventure. What do we want to do? It's solo play, so it makes it a little more difficult because I understand what's going on, being both the DM or the GM and the player. But I think we have been left in a boardroom. Mr. Benderton has been left in the boardroom. A big meeting happened, determining the new TPS reports or whatever it is. Either way, we don't want to be in this room. So our objective is to figure out how to escape the room and move across the floor and to get back into, it looks like this might be some sort of a mailing area or what have you. It's been a bit of time since I've been in office, so it makes more sense to you. Great. Um, but yeah, our objective is to get out of the room, travel across the floor, and then get onto the table here. So we're going to have to put our thinking caps on and get there. So right out of the gate, no one's in the room. I don't see anyone here. Um, I would like to jump onto the floor. So let's see, what does it say around an action of some sort? A D12 determines the difficulty of a mundane challenge. Otherwise, I determine it. Well, I'm going to just say this is a mundane challenge. I'm going to jump off the table. So let's roll our d12 to see what the difficulty is. Ooh, 10. All right, so we got to, I would assume, exceed a 10 here. You roll a d8 and add your stat bonus to the results to determine if you pass or fail the challenge. Do I fall off the table and just land in an awkward spot, or do I actually jump and land in a good spot? Let's see. All right, so I need to first figure out what am I going to add to this. I think I'm adding my strength score. Let's see. You add your stat bonus to the result to determine if you pass or fail. I'm assuming my stat bonus is my strength score, but these are things that I'm asking for you, Mr. Game Masters, is to clarify some of these things so I can have more fun when I'm playing the free game. All right, so let's roll our d8. Our 8. Looks like we got a 6 in there. I should have cleared out that 10 before, but we can all see it's a 6. We got our 6, and now we're going to add our strength bonus, I guess, because how tough are we as we jump off? Maybe agility, but I'm going to just make the call and say it's strength. We tied. If we go with other RPG rules, we meet or exceed the difficulty. So I would say that yeah, we're gonna go with we've met it. We weren't the most graceful as we fell onto the floor, um, but yeah, we were able to jump onto the chair and then onto the floor. So now we've made it down there. The next trick will be to travel across the carpet without any without snagging. Sometimes paper clips they get those little rough edges. We're gonna have to snag onto that. So let's see what the difficulty is for us to kind of travel across the carpet. Now that's another D12. It's a mundane thing. Hopefully it's a 10 again. So we're going to have to use all of our strength to be able to pull as we bend ourselves into maybe some sort of a walking stick type thing. Maybe it's like a boomerang shape or a triangle. And we're just going to kind of hobble across, but we want to make sure that we can beat that 10. So let's get rid of this, roll our D8 and add our 4. Fingers crossed. We got an 8. Look at that. Fantastic. We made it across. No problems. We were tough enough to pull ourselves to the doorway. Now, the next trick, we're going to have to get underneath the door. Pass or fail. We're going to have to flatten ourselves out into a straight line. That shouldn't be a problem at all. And just kind of roll our way through. We're going to do one more mundane. Hopefully, we don't get another 10. Good. Apparently, it's pretty easy for us to roll onto that hardwood and then just keep going. Let's see if we can pull this off. And you know what? This is not a strength check. I think this is definitely an agility. So we're only going to add a 1 to this. Maybe I should be adding pool points. I'm not sure. I need clarification, GM. All right. So we're trying to beat the 2. Clear that out. We'll roll our D8, and we're going to add our +1 to it. We got an 8. We're able to roll underneath the door and onto the floor. Now, I don't see any issues with getting across the floor at all. That doesn't sound like something difficult, making the assumption that the paperclip can walk. We can talk and we can think. We can probably move on our own. So I'm going to move across, but now we have got maybe the biggest challenge that we've had is to get up onto this table. I'm going to look around. I don't see some sort of perception check or anything along those lines. So I'm going to use my reasoning stats, a reasoning ability. We're going to do a reasoning check. Maybe that's the best way to call this as we try to get up onto the table. It says that I have, I can just, where are my pool points? It mentions pool points in here. You can start with 5 pool points if you're in an office. Doesn't use hit points. I can bank up pool points to help with a specific challenge. There's no limit to the pool points that you can collect and bank for future use. I'm not sure how we get additional pool points, so I'm just going to assume we can't. But I am going to use all 5 of my pool points. And, well, before I do that, I'm going to use my reasoning. And let's see if I can perceive a pencil. I'd like to wrap myself around a pencil to become a spring to jump onto the table. So that we're going to have to go through a couple different checks and things along those lines. Because this is the end. This is the big bad evil guy, the table. Okay. So first we're going to use reasoning. I'm going to give myself a +3 to this 8, but we need to see how difficult it is. Apparently it's not hard at all to even see if there's a pencil on the ground. You know what? I'm going to use kind of a modification of the mythic or some sort of determining thing. We're going to say that if it is 7 or below, there's no pencils. It's 7 there, so we'll go back from that. We'll say if we get a 12 or above, there is a pencil. 7 below, no pencil. 12 or above, there is a pencil. Everything in between could be. Roll again. There is no pencils under here. We're going to have to come up with another way of doing it with the same logic. 7 and below, 12 and above. Is there anything on the floor, or did the cleaning crew clean up? Did the actual employees? Shocking. Did they clean up after themselves? Let's see. We're gonna have to roll again on that. Let's try one more roll, or let's make it easier on ourselves. 10 and up, good. 9 and down, no. 13, yes. So there is something down here. Not positive on exactly what it is, so we'll just keep asking questions. Is this thing on the floor a string? It's not a string. Is it some sort of cylinder type item? Maybe not a pencil. Maybe it's a pen or something else. It is. We have another cylinder type item that potentially we can turn ourselves into uh, a spring, because that's the ultimate goal. So we find this item. Now we're going to have to, this is going to be a difficult challenge. It's going to be a strength check to see if we can wrap ourselves around this. So we're going to give ourselves we have the +4 with the D8, but we're going to use all 5 of our points. But I'm also going to say that this challenge is going to be a 12. I'm calling it out. I'm going to make it as hard as I can possibly do. So I'm going to have to roll, not using my pool points. I would have to roll an 8, natural 8 plus my 4 strength points to even bounce up there. Luckily, I have this extra bonus +5. Are we able to, and do we want to use all of our pool points, because we still need to do one more agility type check, our sneak check. What are we calling it? It's agility. We're still gonna have to do an agility check to bounce up onto the table. I'm gonna roll dice for that one, but to actually wrap ourselves into the coil, here we go. We got to beat a 12, so I'm gonna roll my d8. Oh no, we only got a 2. And then we get our +4. So now we're at 6. We got to double it up. We're not going to be able to do it. We know we've already failed this, and now we're all bent out of shape. We've got to figure out another path to get up onto this table. We may be running. We may fail this. Do we see anything else that potentially can help us get up onto the table? We don't. I'm going to call it a loss, kids. Maybe there's some other way, and maybe if you were my GM, we would find a more creative solution. But for the sake of brevity, this is kind of a fun little game. I think it works out really well. It's super simple. Obviously, we learned how to do this. How long has this recording been going on? A little over 15 minutes, and it's been a lot of me yapping. So within 15 minutes, if I can learn it, anyone can learn it. Anyone can learn this game. It's actually kind of fun. I could see how this could be a lot of fun with other players. You could get some really creative aspects going on. You could chain each other together. You could wrap each other up in coils, make a really big, long coil. You could make a slinky. Who knows? The options are endless. Go to town. I think this is a lot of fun. You should run on over. Let me pull up the page again. Run on over to Game Masters. I'm going to post a link in the description. Not really sure if I'm not a YouTube expert here. I'm not sure if that's uncouth or if you're not supposed to be putting other people's pages in your description, but I don't see why not. Go over, subscribe. It's a great channel. It's a lot of fun information. And obviously, you can even find the Paperclip role-playing game. There's a short as well as a video. Go check them out. Let's see what's going on. And yeah, keep adventuring. Have a great time. And yeah, thanks a lot.